This is First Step.
Hey, welcome to the First Step Podcast. My name is Ken. Thank you guys so much for joining. We're back, brand new year, brand new us. We've got a new look, nice, fresh, new design on the bottom of our logo. Thank you guys so much for being patient with us. I'm glad that we're back. With me today, I got the one, the only, Stupid Stu. Stupid Stu, how you doing, buddy?
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, everyone. College football, the year might have ended, but college football, we still got a month left.
Hey, we still have
These are never-ending seasons with a new playoff.
never-ending seasons, baby. We got like 10 more games or something like that. No, just kidding. We
Yeah.
only have 3 more games until we crown a championship. And this week we've got a hell of a doozy. Tonight and tomorrow we've got some great games. First game I want to get to. We're just gonna dive straight into this because I'm so excited. I miss being on the pod. I'm excited to talk about football. I'm excited to talk about this game right here. Ohio State versus Texas. I got some big bets on this one. I got a lot of love in this game. Ohio State, I came in as my favorite this year to win the whole thing, all the way in the beginning of the year. Before I even saw the game, before I even saw a snap being set off, I said Ohio State is one of my favorites to win it this year. I also really like Texas. First year in the SEC, and man, oh man, did they show us that SEC is not that big of a deal. 2025 Cotton Bowl, it starts Friday night. Two big iconic programs in here. Number 8, Ohio State, with number 5, Texas Longhorns coming in. They're going to be battling out, trying to get to that first spot, or I guess it would be, in this case, it's on Friday, the second spot in the national title race. Kickoff is at 7:30 in Arlington, Texas. Texas has a huge home field advantage here. Weather is not going to be an issue in the sense that it's a closed area, but it is going to be freezing out there. So I don't know if they're going to even make it. But I like this game a lot. I think this game's going to be fun. Ohio State has been nothing short of dominant in the playoffs. I mean, they took a loss. What was that final game against Michigan, which destroyed their feelings, destroyed their heart. But since then, they've been absolutely great. They had a 42-17 win over Tennessee, absolutely destroyed Oregon in the Rose Bowl over there. I think they've been lethal in the first quarter, outscoring opponents 35-0 in the playoffs. They're starting fast. They're controlling it and staying ahead in the game. They're the number one defense, only allowing 12.1 points per game, 245 yards per game, and 3.9 yards per play. This is a nasty, mean little defense, carrying them all the way through the playoffs. But they're not doing just well on defense. They're doing great on offense as well. Averaging 39.4 points per game over the last 5 games, except for that Michigan game, which was an anomaly. That was just a rough watch. I feel bad for them. Will Howard has been absolutely incredible. Offense has been balanced. And they are going to capitalize on that early lead and maintain control. On the other side, you have Texas, who's led by Quinn Ewers. We talked about him in the pod exhaustingly. Sometimes he shows like he is the most well-prepared quarterback in college football. This guy has a lot of experience in college football. Looks great. Archie Manning's back there sitting, coasting, not doing anything. Haven't really seen much of him. I said that I was going to expect to see a lot more of him. Hasn't been the truth there. They're resting largely on the hopes. Their hopes are resting largely on Quinn Ewers. Man, he is incredible. He had 3,189 yards and 29 touchdowns this season. He went for 20 for 30, passing 322 yards and 3 touchdowns in the last game, which was great. One of those was a rushing touchdown. He had a great game against Arizona there. I mean, I think they found their rhythm on offense, that's for sure. They had 30 points each game. I think this is going to be a clash of 2 Titans, right? Like, we have 2 really good strengths here. I think Ohio State's going to come in with that fast start. Hope maybe Texas stays in there. I think where this game's going to actually be won, though, is on defense. And I'm going to give Ohio State the edge here, dude. I really like Ohio State to win this game. I think that my favorite bet here, where I'm putting all my money on, is I think that 53.5 is a little high. I don't know if the line's changed or not, but 53.5 to me is a little high. I like that one to be. I like the under there, and I might go nuts, and I might go Ohio State to win it and cover the spread. because I like Ohio State a lot this game. I don't see them losing this. I just don't trust Texas. They've been kind of all over the place this season with their offense. Yes, they found it. Yes, they're playing well. I don't love it. I don't love their offense. I know Texas has the defense to cover, that Jeremiah Smith, but I don't know if they're going to be able to compete. How do you feel about it, Stu? How do you like this game? Do you have any bets on it, or are you just going to here for the ride?
When I first looked at this game, I kind of was rowing with you both in the same direction on both sides of those. I was looking at the potential under and the Buckeyes, and eventually going back and forth on it, I scrapped the under on this game. I do like the Buckeyes by everything up to 14 points. I think they're absolutely the better team than Texas. This team has rebranded itself. You got to give all the coaches their credit. I hate to give Ohio State credit, but I've never seen anything like this between what happened between Michigan and now. They almost developed an entire new offensive system. This team has been beating teams, and beating them is an understatement. They're winning in all three phases. It's special teams with Caleb Downs. It's trick plays. It's not even trick plays. It's just they're just dominating. It's just they're turning you over, and then they're getting the ball and they're going 75 yards every single series and scoring. They're throwing to set up the run. It looks like an NFL style offense. They're running a lot of counters now. Instead, they got away from they changed their whole run scheme. They're getting the running backs in space with the counters. It actually makes their play action game a little more threatening. And then Will Howard is throwing dimes all in the intermediate and downfield. And then the coaches are drawing up that we saw a post where Jeremiah Smith got open after he just scored twice. I mean, Oregon's head was on a swivel. This offense is terrifying. There's no way I can roll with the Texas Longhorns. Give me the Buckeyes by any number. And then on the other side of the ball, Ohio State, the hits they were making on Oregon. I mean, that defensive line, forget Jack Sawyer. I mean, the Hamilton and the Williams guy on the inside, Jackson, number 97. Then you get to Sonny Styles, Cody Simon, those linebackers they can bring those A-gap blitzes with. And then they're loaded in the secondary. Ben Austin's playing great. Caleb Downs, they're going three shell, and then they're also doing cover ones all over the field. They have these quarterbacks guessing. Lathan Ransom's elite at corner. Denzel Burke's elite at corner. I think this team's going to beat Texas. I think Texas is going to fumble the ball. They've been fumbling a lot, and the hits I saw that Ohio State was making against Oregon last week, I don't know how Texas is not going to fumble. I just think this Ohio State team is suffocating. I felt like I was suffocating on my couch watching that game last week. They were so. It was.
I feel like
so
I couldn't even get up. I thought that defensive line was going to shut me down.
Yeah, this wasn't trick plays. This was 75-yard series, just right down your face. The whole game. Give me Ohio State by any number. Styles make fights, and I've kind of heard a lot of people like that if the Texas has a little recipe for success, which there is a pathway for Texas here. I mean, you have Sarkisian. If he can get an early offensive score, and maybe just dictate that style, and then allow that Texas elite defensive front to play ahead with a lead, so they can maybe get a little more pass rush. Maybe we could see Will Howard stumble back to what he was midseason form or before what we've seen. But I just personally, I don't know what data point you can look at with Texas that gives you any confidence with what Ohio State's doing right now. The only advantage I see is exactly what you said in the games in Arlington. Texas just gave up 530 yards and 29 first downs to an Arizona State team that's probably not even a top 15 team in the country. They got bailed out by the refs. Their kicker couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. And now you're going up against a team that I just saw. They humiliated Oregon in front of all of us. And Oregon has been – so I just – give me the Buckeyes by any number.
Yeah, I we talked about it. I agree. I agree with you. The only reason why I'm thinking the under is just exactly what you said. I don't have faith in that Texas offense. It's more like how much is Ohio State going to score on this team. I do like the under on Texas. I think it was at 23 or something like that. I might be taking that one. I like this team a lot, man. I think Ohio State's really good. I think they've really stepped into their own. They've had a hiccup here and there against Oregon in the beginning of the season, and then again against Michigan, which I don't know how they lost that, but here we are. I think Ohio State is my favorite to win the whole thing. I think they're a great team, well coached, incredible. I hate to say it, but they look really good. They look really good this year. And I'm excited for the game. I'm pumped. That is my favorite game this week, by far. Just because I do feel like those are the two best teams going against each other. And the only thing with Texas too, let's not forget, yes, they won the SEC. I'm sorry, they lost the SEC championship to Georgia, right? And this is a team that played kind of
Yep.
nobody the entire season. So yes, they're ranked high. Yes, they're in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but are they truly tested? I don't know. They played, one, two teams that are competitive. They lost to Georgia. I don't know if they have it. I don't think they could beat Ohio State. Ohio State's a two tested team, great talent, well coached, healthy. I like them a lot. I like them a lot.
They're great now. Well, statistically, Texas is. The secondary is looking really good on paper. They haven't really played a whole lot of good offenses. As a Tennessee fan, we kind of had the same situation. We had a really good defense on paper. It was a good defense, but it hadn't played a ton of these elite offenses. And then we ran into this Ohio State that they're rebranded. They're running counters now. They didn't run counters all season. They're attacking. They're running four verticals all over the place. They were barely throwing the ball first half of the season. I mean, it's like this came out of nowhere, or they've been hiding it, or I don't know what caused it. But Chip Kelly has this thing going, or Ryan Day, or whoever made that change. I've never seen a change like this happen
In a team.
so quickly. And
Yeah.
so yeah, and it's
It's
and
a
then
new
on the defensive
identity.
side of the ball, it looks like a championship defense. I mean, they're
It
just
it
killing
really
people.
does. It really does. I mean, this team that defense has been solid all year, and that now the offense just looks like it's got a new identity. Will Howard's been playing incredible. Will Howard, I saw something about how like NFL scouts are just like drooling over this QB on his style of play. But he's got kind of everything. He could run, he could throw, smart enough to make the plays and make the right decisions. I like him a lot. I really do trust this Ohio State team. I wouldn't be surprised if Texas won by any means. Texas is also a very good team. Their defense really steps up when you've seen Texas play really good defense when it has to. And Quinn Ewers is a very good quarterback, and he's got lots of weapons that he can utilize. They also have Archie sitting in their back pocket whenever they want to pull that Archie card, they can. It's exciting. It's going to be a fun game. Exciting what they see. I mean, listen, these are two teams that are going to put everything out on the line. They're here for it. They want this championship more than most. It's exciting to see what they're going to do, man. I expect fireworks. I expect fireworks in this game. Let's go on. Let's talk about tonight's game. Let's talk about big old Thursday night, Penn State versus Notre Dame. Me and you have a mutual party here that is drooling in his bed right now. Just excited to see the game tonight. He's probably already tailgating while he's listening to this. We've got Notre Dame, Penn State. Penn State comes in here in the semifinal, super high, dominantly playoff wins. They crushed SMU, crushed Boise State, outscoring their opponent by 69-24. Notre Dame has been on an incredible, nice little run. This is a team that I said in the beginning, I was like, man, they just lost to Northern Illinois. There's no freaking chance they're not gonna lose one more game. And they did, man. They did it. They're on a 12-game win streak. A big win over Indiana and Georgia. They're playing great, man. I just think they're kind of beat up. I don't think they have the talent. They're kind of injured all over the place. I think Penn State's formula for sex here is going to have to start with their defense. The past 9 games, they've held 7 opponents to 20 points or fewer, and their ground game has been incredible. Boise State, they put up 200 yards against a very good Boise State defensive line, and I really like their tight end Tyler Warren. I think he's a beast. 6'6", 260 pounds. That's going to be a nightmare for Notre Dame. Great running backs, Singleton and Allen, both over 1,000 yards this season. They're going to be moving, and Drew Aller has been playing like an NFL quarterback. Man, he looks good. He's kind of changed his move. He's looking like he's here to win and wants that championship. This is a team who is desperate. Penn State is desperate for a comeback, and they are super excited to jump into this. I am going to surprise you and say that Notre Dame, in order for them to do well, I feel like it's going to be all momentum. They're going to have to come in here, and play like they did against Georgia, right? Which was like lots of good turnovers, scoring, moving all that, stay up on them. I don't trust Notre Dame to shut down the run and to neutralize Tyler Warren. I don't think they have the defense to do it, man. I really do think that Riley Leonard is good. He is proving the fact that he could do well in the air and on the ground. Their defense is good. It's one of the nation's best, but they're gonna have to do the same thing they did against Georgia, with less players against probably a better team, a better coach team. I know this is crazy. I know Notre Dame is they have them as winning this game and they're having them covering the spread. I like Penn State to cover the spread here. I like the over in 45 pence. And I almost like Penn State to win this thing outright, man. I know it's crazy. I know you might be on the opposite side of that, but I just don't trust this. This is a team that lost to Northern Illinois. What are we doing here? How are they even in this position? Before I send this to you, we got our man here, Charlie Pinskin. He's coming out and he's joining us. And I'm excited because I want to know what he thinks about this game as well.
What's up, boys?
Charlie, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys? You guys hear me okay?
Dude, you're looking so professional right now and so sharp it's hard to stare at you.
Yeah, dude. It's cold in Miami, man. Cold fronts here.
You look like an young Indiana Jones about to steal some beautiful treasure and teach me about archaeology.
I would have died in that quicksand, so I don't think. I hope I don't end up in any situations like that.
Listen, Charlie, we're talking Notre Dame. We're talking Penn State. We already talked Texas. We already talked Ohio State. I big on Ohio State that game. Stu's big on Ohio State that game. I think we came to the agreement that Texas just doesn't have it. In this game here, I just tell them. I don't know if you missed it or if you heard it.
Yeah, I heard.
I like Penn State here, and I know it's crazy. I like Penn State. Stupid Stu. Go ahead. You could shit on it now, but be gentle. Be gentle to me.
Well, I mean, I'm currently buying my tickets right now for the Orange Bowl, so I mean, I'm hoping for a good game, man.
Great weather.
Great weather. I don't give a crap about either of these teams, and I'm paying Notre Dame dollar. I get a print gold to go to these games, so I'm hoping for a good game, and I do think that this Penn State team has a little. This Penn State team has 1,000-yard running backs. We haven't seen this in quite a while. That I can't understate how impressive that is to have two 1,000-yard running backs in the same season on the same roster. And I've always thought that the Nick, the Singleton kid was better, and Katron Allen's playing out of his mind right now. They're both unbelievable. And then when you could set that up with the play action to the guy like Tyler Warren, they can make enough plays to win this game. I don't hate the Nittany Lions here, but I am on the Notre Dame train. I am on the Golden Domers. I think I can't wait to go to the tailgate and just all you got to do is I'm going to see all it takes is 30 seconds of being around a Notre Dame fan before they have to tell you that they all went to Notre Dame and graduated. So I can't wait to talk to all the people and just hang out for 30 seconds to hear them all. Oh, I went to Notre Dame, so I get to hear all that for all day tomorrow. But this program's gotten a lot of hate. A lot of people do not like the Golden Domers, and we've heard from all the mumbling morons, they have to join a conference. They can't do anything but develop, they're just a bunch of tight ends, no athletes, this and that. I mean, now you're looking at a team that's looking at the face of getting back to the national title. They have a stud 38-year-old coach, biggest win in 30 years. This win, last week's win over Georgia goes into the ranks of the 1993 win over number 1 Florida State with Bobby Bowden when Lou Holtz took him down. This Notre Dame program's lost 10 major bowl games in a row. And now they just took down the Goliath of the SEC. Quite frankly, they beat the tar out of them. And this is a huge scene for the Irish community. You got to let them have their moment. They didn't do it by a CAG or a call. They did it by extraordinary defense, excellent special teams. What have we seen from the special teams unit? We've seen a 98-yard kickoff return in the last game. We saw special teams coach Marty Biaggi doing the trickery to win the game, drawing Georgia off sides and out and making Kirby Smart look foolish in front of everyone. Against Indiana, we saw the reverse punt after coming out of the first half when Coach Freeman went into the first half and emphasized special teams needs to get into the game, and then they immediately made a play and flipped that game. They lead all major programs in block punts this year. This is beyond just running the ball well with the running backs and supplementary QB. They control the game. They have these huge back-breaking plays, these 98-yard touchdowns. They're scoring 40, 50, 60-yard TDs. Against USC, we saw 2 90-yard interception returns. They look like an SEC team. They beat Georgia looking like the SEC team. Yeah. This program's become likable. This is something straight out of a Rudy movie. It's a script. They just bullied the heck out of a Kirby Smart team. How often do you see that? And then This is a program that went from complaining 4 or 5 years ago with all this NIL and transfer portal stuff to the New York Times about how there's no professionalism in sports and we might just quit. To now they got this thing going full effect. It's through the transfer portal too. I know Notre Dame fans don't like talking about that. Riley Leonard came from Duke. Jaden Harrison came from Marshall. Bo Collins, the TD catch last week from Clemson. R.J. Aubin, the defensive lineman, the strip sack, he's from Duke. Rod Hurd, the pass breakup. Jordan Clark's playing well. The kicker won the game. He's from South Carolina. I mean, I think this all goes down to Marcus Freeman. I think he's fantastic. I think he's got great character. I think he's got it well coached in all three phases. I think he's caused problems for all kinds of teams. He made Cignetti look stupid, and he just had Kirby Smart on his heels. I like Notre Dame. I think they have better playmakers. I think their tackling is fantastic, and I think they're going to find a way to win this game.
I've never disagreed with you more. I think I do think that they're better coached. But to be fair, not that I disagree with you that much. I just think that this game is kind of a toss-up. It is. Penn State's more rested, right? They've had more time to prepare for this game. And dude, Notre Dame's beat up. Like they were beat up for the last game.
Notre Dame is beat up. Flanagan got hurt. Riley Mills. I mean, Riley, their best defensive lineman. I mean, he's done.
Yeah.
That guy's a monster. 99, the captain. Flanagan, tight end, got hurt, and then Jeremiah Love. He's in the super metal brace. I mean, I don't even think he's really going to play, even though they announced it and he's practicing. I don't see how he affects the game. I'd be a little concerned, especially if Notre Dame starts flat. I think Penn State could bully them with the 2,000-yard backs and win this game. I mean, they were in a dogfight against Georgia, but just a few days ago. But I do think Notre Dame's the better coach team, and I think they're going to make a huge emphasis to start this game well. And I just think they're going to start hot. And I think that's their recipe to success here. They know they could turn it on special teams. They know their defense can even against the ropes, even if Penn State's down on the 5-yard line, this Notre Dame team can flip the field on you and score. Also, and the Notre Dame secondary, I mean, Xavier Watts, absolute All-American 2 times in a row at free safety. And then Aiden Schuler. Aiden Schuler's their other safety. He's the number 1 graded player covering tight ends all season. I think they do have chances to cover Tyler Warren. I don't know if you're going to stop him, but
yeah. How can you cover a guy who's 6'6", 260 pounds, and he's got moves? He's quick.
And then they're also the most disciplined defense I've seen with Al Golden. I don't think this Kotelnicki run these little weird formats and this pre-snap motion. And Penn State's been doing a lot of that stuff, and it's fun to watch. I don't think that stuff's going to work on Notre Dame. And then the edge I think Notre Dame has is the pass rush. Penn State's offensive line is susceptible to the pass rush. They're very good in the run game, but in the pass game, they're not very good. And Notre Dame has some guys up front that can really get after the quarterback. That Auden guy has made him plays. The freshman, the 6'8" freshman, the young kid. I mean, he's huge out there. His helmet touches the ceiling. Jesus is touching his helmet. So it's guy's 6'10" or something. And then I love the group of linebackers they have. I mean, Kaiser's been phenomenal all season. Just the Bowen kid's been playing well. He missed a play last game that led to a touchdown, but I mean, this team is really good, man. This defense is tackling really well. I think they're going to start well, and I think they're going to take down Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Charlie's having some technical issues here. He said he's leaning Notre Dame as well. He's liking the Texas under, but he's leaning Notre Dame as well. Says I'm a fool for going with Penn State. I'm going to tell you something. Notre Dame does not play well when they're down, and they have not been down yet. So I think Penn State comes out, gets on top, they maintain it. Good luck, Notre Dame. I don't think they have it. I don't think they have it in them. Are they a bad team? No. All I know is either one of these teams doesn't have a prayer against either Ohio State or Texas. I don't trust either one of them.
Sure, but there's a pathway to success for Penn State here. There is with the extra rest. I mean, those 1,000-yard backs, the running game. If Notre Dame doesn't start well, you can maybe see this team. The tackling won't be as good as it was last week. I'd be really concerned if that happens as a Notre Dame fan. Riley Leonard has not been throwing the ball as great in the playoffs as much as the end of the season he was. He only threw for like 100 yards last game against Georgia.
No, he's been not playing that great.
It didn't look really good. The receivers statistically separation factor has not been very good there. They're one of the the worst teams in the Power 5 getting separated, Power 4 now getting separation. But I mean, Penn State's the same thing. Penn State's actually the worst in getting separation, and they're going up against a better defense. And Notre Dame's playmakers have been involved this year. The 3 Jadens, they're all over the place. Great House, and there's 10 of them. Bo Collins, it's good to see him making plays. Evans, the tight end, if he can get involved, that's huge for Notre Dame. And I love the Jordan Fajan kid. I think the biggest thing about Notre Dame is they got 4 guys in the backfield that you can just draw plays up for that you don't even have to throw a ball to. Between Fajan, Price, Jeremiah Love, and then Riley Leonard with his legs. I think that could be the difference. I think it's easier for them to get the ball in the playmakers' hands than for Penn State to get the ball to Harrison Wallace or some of their guys. And that's why I just trust Notre Dame to start quicker, and then I trust them to outcoach this other team. And that's just how I see it. Also, Penn State, the tackling's not very big, hasn't been very good with Coach Allen's defense. They took over a Manny Diaz defense. We've seen it's feast or famine with them. It's tackle for loss, or they let up a lot of plays. And Notre Dame is very, very smart, methodical. The way they go down the field. Riley Leonard is good at that. So that's why I just see the path to success here. I think Penn State's defense has a little bit of holes that we haven't really seen. Because let's be real, they played SMU and Boise State.
Dominated.
So
dominated.
Yeah, they did. They
dominated
did.
Penn State.
I'm going to see if this defense can tackle in person because I think Notre Dame does have some playmakers. That was actually the issue last year. This Notre Dame team was phenomenal. They had the defense last year, and they had no playmakers. And then they went out in the portal, and they didn't get elite there, but they got guys that they like. And I think these coaches made good evaluations, and I think it's going to show. I think Notre Dame's going to go back to the championship, where I think they'll probably get slaughtered. But I think
Notre Dame
it's a big day for this program.
Notre Dame, against Georgia, they looked really good, right? And they showed some versatility. I think they depend too much on turnovers. I think that Riley Leonard's a beast, but he could be shut down when he wants to be. We've seen it. Can they shut down the run? Can they neutralize that Tyler Warren? Can they give pressure to the quarterback early, often? Can they get up in the front? I don't know. We're excited to see it. This game truly is a pick 'em. I think either one of these teams, we talked about it, either one of these teams could win. Neither one surprised. I feel like Texas beating Ohio State, that's a big surprise. Is it impossible? No. But this game, truly, either one of these teams could win. It all kind of depends on Notre Dame. I said it to our mutual friend. If Notre Dame plays like they did against Georgia, I give it to Notre Dame 100 times out of 100 games. If they do anything less, this game's 50-50. And I can't expect them to play like they did against Georgia, because what they did against Georgia was surprisingly incredible. Can they do that again? No, I don't know. I would listen. Both of these teams want this championship badly. These are 2 historical teams that haven't seen a championship in a long time. They both want to be there. They both want to fight for it. They're going to put it out all on the line. I expect fun, fancy plays. I think Notre Dame is going to play the opposite. I think you're going to see very boring football from Notre Dame. They have a very boring style. It is dragging the football along both sides of the ball. It is slow, methodical, very well-coached team. I will give you that. But Penn State has some talent on there that could break that up and disrupt it. I'm excited to see it. I do think that the spread at that 1.5, man, I don't know. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting points in a winnable game. I get it.
How do you feel about the over on 45 points there?
I like the over. I actually, as a fan, as going to this game as just a neutral fan, I think this does look like a knife in a phone booth fight, like most people are saying, a slugfest. But I can actually see some points here. I can see Notre Dame being a little tired, and those running backs for Penn State getting a little bit loose. And I can see Notre Dame's playmakers. Penn State's tackling. This is a Manny Diaz defense from a couple of years ago. I mean, I've seen this in person.
We lived through it for years.
I think people are thinking this is going to be super slugfest, slow scoring, which is I do think that's the most likely play, so I don't disagree. But I do think there's an opportunity for both teams to get in the high 20s here, maybe closer to 30. I don't think this is going to be a 17-14 game.
Yeah, I agree.
Weather looks great. It's
45 is low, right?
No wind.
Super nice weather.
No wind.
Yeah,
it's
great
for
for
5,
both
10
teams.
miles an hour wind. NFL field. I'll be there in my Hurricanes attire. Screw both teams. But
just flicking everybody off.
And I honestly think Notre Dame's going to have a home field advantage here too. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. I know it's a bowl game, so it's hard to say that. But Notre Dame, they like coming to Miami. They travel to Miami. They love it.
Yeah, man.
This time of year, they get to go to Miami.
They're dodging, dude. They're dodging that snow. They're out of there. Yeah, man, I agree. This game's going to be a lot of fun. Charlie agrees with you on Notre Dame. I like Penn State here. It's a pick 'em.
I
Do with
wanted
what your
I
heart
wanted to
desires.
see I wanted to hear Javi's opinion on this because I know he can't stand the Irish, and then he's always got great Penn State takes. You know how they got two players, and then everyone else was just a generic Penn State lion like player. So
I
I
know.
was looking forward to that. But I'm glad you went with Penn State because I think Penn State is a really good football team, and I think people are really overlooking. They have the pieces. They really do have the pieces.
They do have the pieces. They
Um,
have the pieces to. I don't think they have the pieces to win it. I don't think they could beat Ohio State, but I do think that
No,
they could
and
beat.
and they scored 6 points against Ohio State last time they played, so I don't think the market's
Yeah,
going to take that either.
yeah.
Well, they scored 13, but offense scored 6.
How do you
Um,
feel? So listen. We're at the end of the season. We have four teams left. There is one SEC team who just got in there fresh. We talked a lot of shit about the SEC this year on the pod on how they just overrated, completely overrated conference. ACC got shit on all over the place. Pac-12 got, or not Pac-12. Listen to me, it doesn't exist anymore. Big 12, Big 10, hard for them to get their names in the door. And what are we seeing now, buddy? We're not seeing Alabama. We're not seeing Georgia. We're not seeing Tennessee. We're seeing Penn State, Ohio State. We're seeing Notre Dame, and yeah, you got Texas, sure. Are they an SEC team though? Like, yes, they're an SEC
no,
team, but
they're
they
they're
didn't play anybody
glorified
in
Big
the
12 team
SEC.
still. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You talked about it a little bit before we started a pod. SEC's kind of lost their juice. I'm not saying that they're a bad conference by any means. They're still an elite conference. Their teams are incredible. But I think with NIL, with transfer portal, players moving around. It's not so much about where you play; it's how much you get paid to play. Kind of even the playing field a little bit here, man. We're seeing some other teams. I'm not saying that Boise State has a chance to win a conference or national championship, or I'm not saying, you're not going to see a USF against an Alabama and put the numbers, but hey, this is nice to see different teams in the mix. How are you feeling about your favorite conference, the SEC, not being represented really, but other than by Texas?
Yeah, and honestly, by the referees, because Texas survived on that call.
That's true.
Arizona State could have kicked a field goal to win that game. The college football playoff conference gap is not as big as everyone thinks it is. And I don't really like going into the bowl games because bowl games don't matter. But I mean, the SEC, they chalked them up like they were the best again this year. Alabama, South Carolina, A&M all lost. Tennessee got bent over a barrel showing the 50 states. Georgia got bullied by a team that's not even in a conference. Texas survived on an awful call. But really, it's just the recruiting. It's the NIL. It's the salaries. It's the big money in the North. It's the transfer portal. And back in the year in 2010 to 2019, approximately 2/3 of all the 4 and 5 stars came committed to the same 11 states, this SEC footprint. The biggest thing in recruiting was the natural proximity to get to these players. During those years, we saw 16 of 17 champions from a small, deep circle in the South. The only outlier was an Urban Meyer team at Ohio State with 1 year. Now we're looking at back-to-back years of Northern champions, assuming Texas doesn't win this thing. Michigan won last year. Now you're looking at Penn State, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. I mean, this is the first time in 20 years that we might not have an SEC team in the title, and it's not only for 1 year; it's for 2 straight years. Like last year wasn't even an anomaly with the Washington and Michigan. Alabama, Notre Dame. Look at this. Look at if Notre Dame makes it to the title. Last time they made the title in 2013, they went up against Alabama. Alabama had 23 5-stars. Notre Dame had 2. I mean, this wasn't even competitive. This was like us going to Ultra Zone on an 8-year-old's birthday. We're going to kill these kids.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Those kids will destroy me.
I mean, Shane Gillis, one of my favorite comics, made the joke to Nick Saban right on the set of Air a couple of weeks ago. Now that we can start paying guys SEC, it's the field's a little even. I know ESPN hasn't picked up on this yet, but last year with Michigan was not an anomaly. What we're seeing right now, this is the new era of college football. Programs, boosters, NIL, big salaries. Conference is completely irrelevant. So I don't want to go on this whole conference tangent. Notre Dame's not in a conference right now, and they're playing meaningful football in January. So this whole thing has just been turned on edge, and it's going to change how I look at college football and value it going forward. completely. It's going to change everything.
I agree with you. All right, so we talk about the two big games. I'm excited for them. Make sure you guys check both games out tonight. Thursday, I think it's at 7:30, and the other one's also at 7:30 on Friday tomorrow. So make sure you guys check it out. I'm excited for this football. I'm excited for this championship. It's a nice little pod we did today. Thank you so much, Stu. Going through these big games. Guys, make sure you guys follow us. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe. We're going to be going a lot more deeper. I cannot wait till next week when we talk about the results of this thing. And I make all this money off Penn State, and I rub it in your guys' faces and in our buddy that's a Notre Dame fan. I can't wait. I'm excited. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about college basketball. It's about the midway point right before March Madness. A lot of good stuff coming from there. A lot of hockey talk. Golf is just... I smell the grass cut.
Kicking off,
it's coming
man.
Soon. It's kicking off soon. These Florida tournaments are coming, baby.
Teeing off soon. Yep.
Teeing off soon, baby, and I'm excited for it. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Stupid Stu, thank you so much. Follow, like, subscribe. First Step Podcast. See ya. Have a good one. Good night.
You've been listening to First Step.
We told you we don't take this too seriously, didn't we? I'd say we've proven that. Yes, we love sports, and we love sports betting. But we like the funner side, not the stuffy side. We hope you had a blast like we did. If so, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Instagram and TikTok at First Step Bets.
See you next time on First Step.